Good morning. Welcome to another session on English Paper 3 with Teacher Nancy, where we talk about how to make introductions when writing essays. How can we ensure that we score whenever you're writing introduction? And particularly, I'm going to refer to our current setbooks, The Samaritan, Parliament of Words, Half a Day and Other Stories, and of course, The Artist of the Floating World. How do we introduce, how do we ensure we score 2 marks in our introduction? There are 3 ways of doing that, and we could refer to questions. On the short story, I would pick on any, one like on Inema. Focus, hard work, and determination leads to success. Drawing illustrations from the story, write an essay in support of this statement. What are we expected to do here? Introduction, there are 2 ways, or 3 ways, in fact, that we can introduce. The first one is to be general. Talk generally about what that statement means. Like you could say, when somebody is so committed and does everything possible and does not give up on the way and fights in whichever way they can achieve what they set out to achieve, or what they set out to get. Now, and that is one way that is still correct, because what matters is your understanding of the question. That is what comprises our introduction. Another direction would be to go straight to the text. We call it contextual. You can say, in the short story Ninema, the main character, that is Ninema, shows a lot of commitment and works very hard and uses whatever opportunities she has in the best way possible, and this helps her to become a successful businesswoman, market gardener. Remember, Nema is a market gardener. So that is another way that we can introduce. The third way is to combine the 3. You could say, in life, whenever there are people who are determined or are so much committed to what they do, and they do everything possible in their power to achieve it, they can always succeed. In the short story Ninema, the main character, does everything in her power in the best way possible, and is so committed and not distracted, and in the end, she is a successful market gardener. She's a successful woman. So that is a third way where we combine the 3. Let's try something on the Samaritan. A question like, misusing public funds can lead to suffering to those who are committing such crimes. Can lead to suffering to the leaders. Let's put it that way. Okay, I've said a question like, misusing public funds can lead to suffering to the leaders who engage in such activities. Now, how do we introduce that? You're told, show the truthfulness of this statement with reference to this to the play, The Samaritan. How do we go about it? You simply decide which way you want to go. If you want to go the general way, you'll say, whenever somebody is in a position of authority and they misappropriate or they embezzle what they are supposed to be using for public good or for development of citizens in a place, then they can be miserable in the end. So that is one way, and that is still correct, is powerful. But again, if you go to the text direct, you can go to the Samaritan. You can say in the text, the Samaritan, the people in positions of authority misappropriates or use money that is meant for developing the town or for benefiting the people for their own good or for things that are wrong. They're not supposed to be doing that, and this causes them to be miserable. Some of these leaders are Mosi, Ted, Seymour, Justice Jordan, among others. And you stop there. So when you go direct to the book, it is advisable that you mention, if you can list the points or the characters that you want to talk about in your essay, you are safer that way. But then again, those who can combine the general and the contextual, it is your best way out. Artists of the Floating World, for those of us who have prepared on this book. Last year's question on this book was, parents are always happy when their children do well. If you are to introduce, again, the 3 procedures follow. You can choose one of them. You can talk generally about how parents want the best for their children, but avoid repeating the words in the question. Always use other words to paraphrase if you're going to go the general way. If you're going to go direct to the text, you will go to the text direct and say, in the novel, An Artist of the Floating World, Masuji Ono does everything possible in order to secure a future and a good life for his children, and this makes him very happy. So that is one way. And you could mention the children if you want to, but in the introduction, remember, we don't explain the details because the details will come in our paragraph 2, which will be the content paragraph. We can all do that. In Parliament of Words, somebody can ask you, arrogance can lead to a downfall in people, or pride comes before a downfall, or what goes around comes around, whether it is a proverb or not. What matters is we don't repeat the question, we come up with our own words that can show that we've understood what the question wants. Arrogance means being extremely rude, using a language that is so full of pride and annoying to others. So you can find a way of doing that, and you show the second part of the question, which is the downfall. It can make somebody to lose everything. It can make somebody to suffer. You want that to come out clearly. So again, you can go to the text direct, or you can talk generally, or you can combine the two, the general and the contextual, and you come up with a very clear introduction. Remember, introductions are 2 marks. So whether the rest of your paragraphs are wrong, or maybe there's no point, you'll still score in your introduction, and you'll get 1 for the grammar because you've written something. We are trying to say you should not leave the introduction out at any cost. Ensure that you always introduce your essays in the best way possible. Show understanding. That is the key word. And remember, don't repeat the words in the question. Don't define the terms in the question. And make it as short as possible. If it can go up to 4 lines maximum, or 5, then you're safe. So let's do the best we can as far as our introduction to the essays on Setbooks are concerned. Thank you so much for your time. Let's meet again another time.